We're in the midst of an all systems breakdown, and we have to have an all systems response. This is all about us now. If you're going to give in to despair, it won't happen. If you're going to spiral down, it won't happen. If you're going to cave, it won't happen. But if you stay strong with intention, this isn't going to happen on my watch.
Riz us up, Marianne. We're ready to go.
I know how inadequate our political system is to handling this moment, but I know within us, all of us, because listen, all the money, all the power, all the technology of the time was in the hands of the slave owners. They always have that worldly power. We have that I would rather die standing than live on my knees.
I'm going to keep you here all day, Marianne. I've never felt so good in my life.
Many of them are motivated by religious values. And I don't know that the left has offered something on that level of values.
Right? There's an arrogance and a condescension towards people of faith that was just plain strategically stupid, if nothing else. But also, you know what's very interesting that people I don't think realize? When you look at the greatest social justice movements in the history of the United States, most of them actually emerged from religious or spiritual centers. Among white abolitionists, they emerged from the early evangelical churches in New Hampshire. The women's suffragists, most of them were religious Quakers. And of course, Dr. King was a Baptist preacher. What a religious or spiritual perspective gives you is two characterological aspects. When you have no sense of the larger spiritual dynamic, you become very naive about evil. In any serious religion, east-west, there is the sense of the destructive power. It's an aspect in human consciousness which is purely without love. Even Adam Smith, who was the main architect of free market capitalism, said it cannot exist outside an ethical context. What has happened in American politics over the last few decades is it was so amoral. When you do not take care of people, large groups of desperate people become a petri dish out of which, throughout history, all manner of societal and personal dysfunction inevitably arises, including ideological capture by genuinely psychotic forces and the rise of and attraction to the political strongman. And anybody with the slightest knowledge of history would have seen it coming.
I'm not a practicing religious person, but I do believe in God. And I think the thing that gave me is that someone's worth does not come from what they've earned or what they look like or how able they are. And I think that that's the piece that got lost, is that the value of humans, just because they are human beings, is not there.
And that goes back to all men are created equal, given by God the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Governments are instituted to secure those rights, and that if government's not doing its job, it is the right of the people to alter it or to abolish it.
Is there anything we can learn from the past right now that can help us in this moment not have despair?
Nobody's part is more important than any other's. This is not an age of the soloist. This is an age of the choir. Everybody sing your own note.